She started the Tech Club for girls. She also participated in science fair for 4 years. She started a small business with her sister, Down to Earth Bags. She is a varsity letterman in 3 sports and is on 3 relay teams that hold school records. Please give a very warm welcome to our wonderful valedictorian, Sylvie Wilson. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, friends and family, teachers and administrators, fellow students, and most of all, graduates of the class of 2019. It is an honor to speak with you on this special occasion. Well, here we are. Let me be probably the 900th person to congratulate you for making it through high school. On top of all the congratulations, you're probably getting tons of advice. Everyone who finds out you're a graduating senior, whether it's friends, family, your dentist, or the checkout guy at Kroger, wants to give you their very favorite tips for getting by in the world, whether you ask for it or not. Hey, they mean well. Let's face it, we didn't do this all on our own. Every one of us has had tons of help. Our parents and siblings, yes, even the annoying ones, our administrators, counselors, coaches, and teachers, yes, especially the tough ones. Our mentors and friends, even the ones who eat the top of the muffin first, they've all changed our lives for the better and helped us to get to this point. Do this. At some point today, pull some of those people who've had an impact on your life aside, look them straight in the eye, and say, thank you. And promise them that while you can't properly repay them for all they've done for you right now, you will, one day, pass it along to some other dopey kid trying to make their way through high school. In the spirit of giving unsolicited advice, and despite the fact that I am, like you, young and not exactly chock full of worldly experience yet, I'm going to try to pass along a couple of things I've learned. I'll just start with a story. For those of you who know me, you know that I absolutely love the outdoors. Get me out into the mountains, hiking above the tree line, sleeping under the stars, and I'm home. It's beautiful and inspiring, sure, but it's also either usually mercilessly hot and sweaty or painfully cold and wet. And about an hour into the first day of a backpacking trip, I usually smell a little bit like a decaying dead animal. But I love it nonetheless. So you're probably thinking, well, what's the point? I'll get to that. When I was a kid, my parents forced, or well, let's say sternly encouraged my sister and me to strap on backpacks and march miles into the wilderness, where at the time, it seemed like every single trail led uphill. When I would lag behind in protest, my dad would lovingly call me cougar bait. Hilarious. Don't encourage him. It was on one of these trails, still miles from camp and trudging yet again uphill, that my sister and I came up with our ideal place, which we called Happy Mountain. On Happy Mountain, all trails went downhill. It was as simple as that. Just downhill to get to camp, downhill to get water, downhill to the summit and the beautiful views. Just a nice, easy path. And then I grew up. Partially, at least. As I got older, I started to realize that what's easy quickly becomes boring. Rainer Maria Rilke, a German poet and thinker, once said, "There's nothing harder to bear than a succession of bare days." Basically, you've got to have a little rain so you can appreciate the sun. Or to put it more vividly, my sister, Winter, as a sugar-crazed 5-year-old, once mused about how great it would be if all the sticks she found were candy. Until she had this disturbing thought. If I wish for all the sticks to be candy, there won't be any more sticks to make slingshots. And who would want to live in a world without slingshots, right? not only do the easy things become boring, but you don't really get anywhere just taking the easy way. And that's why now I go to the mountains and suffer all of those little indignities, because it reminds me how easy life is back home, and how lucky I am day to day with electricity and running water at my fingertips. It shows me that a trip to the summit of Capitol Peak and its life-affirming, breathtaking views is made up of single, sometimes excruciatingly difficult steps, but that each one of those steps makes me stronger. It shows me that nearly all things worth doing start by seeming to be impossible, or at least horribly difficult. But you've got to learn not just to endure the hard stuff. You've got to learn to love it. It's the only way to get to the top of the mountain. Sometimes the difficult stuff will be in our studies. Sometimes it will be in our jobs. But the most important hard stuff that we'll have to deal with in our lives will be with other people. It's not just as simple as be kind, although that costs you very little and is worth so much. We have to learn to be there for one another, even when it's not easy for us. Stay home from your party when the dog is sick. Mow that elderly neighbor's lawn. Drop everything for a friend who can't see a way out. Care enough to be there, not just for the people closest for you, but also for your community, your world, and your country. It's not just our responsibility as human beings, it's the only way we will solve the massive problems our generation has to face, by standing elbow to elbow, rolling up our sleeves, and being there. I know that I'm just an 18-year-old, so how do I know that it's important for us to be there for one another? Because when I think back on our time together at AHS, the things I remember the most aren't the pep rallies, or the talent shows, or the dances. What I remember is that when I needed you, you were there for me. We joked about this phrase for most of Senior Follies, but that's what be a bulldog really means. I know that message may sound cliche, but it's true. Still, as we start this new chapter of our lives, none of us have all the answers. To paraphrase Michael Scott of my favorite TV show, The Office, we know exactly what to do, but in a much more real sense, we have no idea what to do. And right at this moment, standing on the precipice of the real world, that couldn't be more true. But as long as we care enough and work through the hard stuff, we can't help but succeed. Henry David Thoreau once said, "If one advances confidently in the direction of his dreams and endeavors to live the life which he has imagined, he will meet with the success unexpected in common hours. Above all, we cannot be inactive. So let's go. There are things to fix and rules to break, mountains of ideas to absorb, oceans of thorny problems to work on, and miles of indignities to endure. There are acres of pizza to eat, myriad Netflix shows to binge watch, and scads of campfires to sing around. There are trails to hike and doors to open. There are doors that don't even exist yet because we haven't built them yet. In the end, there is no happy mountain. It's all uphill from here, but that's okay. We're all bulldogs on the trail together, and believe me, it's going to be totally worth it. Congratulations to the Athens High School class of 2019. I wish you all the very best. Thank you.